An exclusive preview of the all-new Honda Civic Type R, so the sportiest version of this very new vehicle. You can also tune in to our review from the normal Honda Civic Sport, 1.5 liter turbo, here the 2 liter turbo in the sportiest version there is available. We'll tell you everything about the exterior and the interior. Two vehicles exist from this one here in Germany so far. One is here today with you. All on Autogefühl, your #1 resource for in-depth car reviews and your #1 community to discuss cars with Thomas. We've driven all the way to the Nürburgring. It's 24 hours from the WTCC, the World Touring Car Championship today. Driven here with some Honda customers and fans. Been an amazing tour and a lot of partying, a lot of people going on here when it's such a racing event. But today we will focus here on the Honda Civic Type R. Let's go! So while a normal Honda Civic in the new generation is about 20,000 bucks, this one here around 35,000. Then you get higher equipment on the interior and of course a bigger engine we will soon take a look at. In the front you can already see the car sits lower, about 3 centimeters, and has this carbon fiber front wing. Very massive spoiler, a black look, especially contrasting here in this matte beige or matte white color. Type R logo, everything is set on a very evil stance, and you can see the new daytime running lights. In general, the new generation is featured by this flat, low face, which looks sportier and wider than the one before, also with slimmer headlights in general. And you can see that the hood is split here for insurance reasons, that in case of a small front overlap crash, first of all, it's for crash safety, and also costs go down, insurance costs go down when you do not have to replace the whole hood here, which also has a rally-style air intake right on the top. Same length here, 4.51 m or 14'8" for the Honda Civic Type R, the same length as the normal hatch version. There's no information yet on if there will be a sedan, probably not. So the Type R will probably remain with the hatch version. Then you can see on the side profile those carbon fiber covers for the side mirrors. Then you can see here some, just air outtake style at least. 20-inch rims, it comes with a red ring, pretty dramatic. Bigger Brembo brake discs, they can also go to the racetrack then, because it has also scored a new record lap for the Honda Civic Type R. I think it was about 12 seconds faster than the previous version, so they've reworked a lot of it. There's a completely whole new chassis. Underneath that, a completely new rear axle, and so the overall car is way stiffer and sportier than before, and then also faster on the racetrack. And we have already tested the normal Honda Civic Sport in this case, or you can compare it to the SI version in the US. And this one already gave a very sporty ride, so this one expected to be even sportier, maybe even a little bit too stiff for everyday driving life, unless you really prefer that. We found that out with the previous generation. This guy has an Autogefühl here now too. So, and also with the rear, you can see a very sharp ending, and then there's this huge rear wing, very massive. What do you think about it? Look at that. I mean, you can really take shelter when it's raining under this huge rear wing. It's really extremely massive. And then taillights are usually pretty much the same with the normal hatch. The big difference is then this huge diffuser at the rear part. And we've seen with the normal Sport version we had 2 exhausts, and here 3 exhausts, and they are centered. Pretty unusual, because the outer one's a bigger one and then a small one in the middle part. At the first sight I think it looks a little bit strange, but I mean, why not do something different? I want to hear your take on this. Put me your comments there in the opinion. And you can also see the split here with the window. That's also the same. The Type R, this number plate will of course be replaced with a real one. And the Honda logo has a red background. So under the hood here, in comparison to the 1.5 liter from the normal Civic we've tested, this one here is 2 liter of displacement, 4-cylinder engine, turbo petrol. You can see they have added a nice engine cover here, also with carbon fiber, and then this red Honda style. And so far it delivered 310 horsepower, now updated to 320 horsepower, so 10 horsepower more. So far, the acceleration to 100 kilometers or 62 miles now was 5.7 seconds. Now I expect it to be something like 5.5, so with a little bit more horsepower and a little bit more Newton meters of torque. But it's still, the very same engine, not the, exact horsepower, but the basis engine remains the same. So it's not really a big change. The big change was really more the chassis. So let's get inside. Door handles pretty much the same than normal. Then we have the carbon fiber look right here, also then with red contrast stitches and also cloth or microfiber. So that's very well done there. Then the special thing is, of course, those racing seats. Wow, they are really great again. I mean, look at the style, extremely sporty. And then you can see, for example, the stitches, the contrast stitches, Type R logo. And although the belts come from the side, they have this style that the belt could actually really come from behind as a really racing one. Well, for the everyday driving life, they could be a little bit too tight, You see they have a lot of shoulder and thigh support. So I probably would recommend normal seats for everyday driving. Yeah, I mean, they really hold you very tight. That, can be maybe a little bit annoying unless you really want to have that in everyday driving life. I was very satisfied with the normal seats we had with our Honda Civic in general, with the review. However, this one will, really help you when you're, for example, doing some Touristenfahrer laps on the Nürburgring Nordschleife. Also, you can see red contrasts right there, here next to the dashboard. It's also the style and the carbon fiber. There we go. And a special steering wheel, again with red contrast right there. Overall, a pretty lovely style for sure. And headroom-wise, this one does not have a panoramic roof. And it's good comparison also to our other normal Civic review, because here you have plenty of headroom, which is not the case when you have a panoramic roof. Then the headroom is like this. And the one I'm 1.86 m or 6'1". So pretty interesting findings here too. And the cockpit overview. If you want to see how the instruments and infotainment system look like, check again our full review with a special feature, also with the generations feature of the Honda Civic. We will go in detail about that one there. We will link the video. Here with the Type R, I want to focus on the special features. The co-driver seat also in a special racing style. Then you have a unique shifting lever. It's real metal, so it's actually at the moment pretty cold. But I've also experienced it, when there's a lot of sunshine on that stick, it can get really hot, and probably then you need racing gloves to really be able to touch it. This one has this old school Formula 1 style, really nice. Also with the badge, actually it seems to be that this one is the first build. It says R00000, pretty amazing to be in this vehicle here. And we also have special commands here for the driving modes, for example. This is a front-wheel drive car. And then you can, for example, change how much wheel spin in the front is being allowed. And what is also interesting is that here in the middle tunnel, you see the microfiber or Alcantara is the main scheme here, the main style. That in the middle tunnel area, where in normal Civic everything is covered in fabric or cloth, this one here is then with microfiber a little bit more premium. And here again in detail, you will put it forward for the R mode. Then there's more wheel spin in the front allowed for the racetrack, for example, or comfort mode. Also that you have, more comfort from the suspension, for example. Because this one here will already be really stiff from a standard mode. And then you've seen here there was the badge from the build, unique one, and we move on further up there again in close up this lovely shifting stick. So a lot of detail they put right in there. And in the front there's a pad for inductive charging for your smartphone, for example. And what I already felt was quite well done are those buttons here with a nice clicking sound. So temperature will be still manual. Climate you have to click there, and then you control everything in this new touchscreen. And below the middle tunnel you have a USB port to connect your smartphone for the connectivity, and also an HDMI port. And before that you also can put some more things. And here again the nice microfiber cover is cozy and sporty at the same time. And you can slide back this armrest and you can fold it up and have a lot of variety here for the beverage holders right there, or there another big one, and also USB port. So a lot of storage space actually in this vehicle, more than in other vehicles of this very segment. So about the rear, also when you have those sport seats, how does the legroom differ? Actually it doesn't make a too big difference. I think they are a little bit thicker. So as far as I remember, we have a little bit more legroom than this in the normal seats. So you lose a little bit of legroom if you have those very thick sport seats. You have to be aware of that. So if you want to use this car with tall people in the rear, better go for a non-Type R variant. Then also headroom wise, it's pretty okay. So for 3 tall people, that's really perfectly fine. Maybe then you can go with 4 people and hunt on the Nordschleife for this 7 minutes 43 seconds lap record we have there for front-wheel driven cars. They've just done here with the new Type R. Well, there's no cup holders here in the middle part, and the rear seats, obviously they focus on the front seats. There's no microfiber on the rear seats. You have Isofix covers, but you clearly see that they didn't want to make it too expensive then, with also covering the rear here. They really focused, because probably if you go for the Type R, it will mainly be a 2-person car or maybe 1-person car. However, you can also flip the seats from here, for example, like this. But you can see already, if you don't move this seat here a little bit forward, then it won't fit, because it's actually pretty thick. But good to know that we have Ghost Michelle available here. And I just have to do like this, and the front seat is being flipped forward, and here we can also put in the rear seats. Let's take a look at it from the trunk. And here an unusual view to the trunk. And if you want to hear more about the versatility of the Civic, the new generation, also check out our other full review. And now the conclusion so far, the preview Honda Civic Type R. We have driven the 1.5 liter turbo engine, and that one was already very sporty, so we can expect so much more sportiness of this one. And the new record lap on the Nürburgring Nordschleife also showed what this very vehicle is capable of. I'm not sure if it will be suitable for the everyday driving. I could not really say that for the previous generation, so I think it was too stiff, at least for me. Maybe it's not if you're really, that sporty car freak, then it's probably the real choice for you, one of the most dramatic ones in the hot hatch segment from the compact cars, that's for sure. Exterior, a really arousing styling, so much dark elements, huge rear wing and stuff. Interior, lovely red detail, especially those racing seats. Pretty amazing stuff they've put in there. In general, with the new Honda Civic, you can check out the other feature we did with more information. Really promising vehicle also here in the sports version. Looking forward for the very full driving review. Then, of course, together with you here on Autogefühl, and then give me your feedback to this Type R in the comments.